Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Major developments today in the fight against a stinky corporate neighbor. Local 4 investigators exposed the smelly nuisance and held the company accountable.
You came into this town, and this town now is suffering. So, it really does fall on you.
I am thinking I don't think we've deflected any responsibility from it.
Tonight, an agreement finally reached, and the city of Adrian claims victory. Glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 6. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. After more than a year, the city of Adrian is getting cash and the promise of technology, which will hopefully fix the stinky mess caused by the Adrian company Crimson Holdings.
Our investigative team exposed this issue. Been following it now for months. Adrian residents say the egg processing plant in town creates an awful odor affecting everyone, including local businesses.
So let's bring in Local 4 investigative reporter Karen Drew with what happened today that will hopefully make life better for the people of Adrian. Karen.
Devin and Kim, this is big. It's really big. Now, this has been going on for over a year. Hundreds of angry complaints, a city lawsuit, 9 state violations. Today, a major turn in the stinky story. Crimson Holdings agreed to pay out, clean up, or else. And in the meantime, fed up residents filed their own class action lawsuit. The video shows the quaint town of Adrian. It doesn't show the stench.
So there's people that are coming in and saying that it smells like something is dead out there.
I've used the term smells like death.
The source of the odor, Crimson Holdings, a company that makes egg powder for the pet food industry, right in the middle of the town.
It seems as if they want to put profits before people. You should not have walked into this community without realizing that processing these eggs is going to create a horrible odor.
Attorney David Durbin represents Adrian residents in a new class action lawsuit against Crimson Holdings. The lawsuit says the company failed to employ adequate odor mitigation strategies and that plaintiffs' homes continue to be physically invaded by noxious odors from the facility. As residents fight back, a major development in the city's fight against the company. The legal agreement filed today outlines what will happen. Crimson will only be operating between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. until 45 days after an odor scrubbing machine is installed. That machine is expected to fix the odor. Crimson is paying the city's attorney's fees, and Crimson is giving the city $100,000 to be used at the city's discretion. Local 4 investigators have held the company accountable as well. You came into this town, and this town now is suffering. So, it really does fall on you.
I am thinking I don't think we've deflected any responsibility from it.
Local 4 investigators have uncovered just last month another violation from Eagle, finding odors up to 1 mile downwind of the company, impacting residents and nearby commercial businesses. Do you feel like anybody cares about you guys over here?
Well, obviously you guys do because you're here.
Yeah, we do care. By the way, I talked to Joe. He says it's so horrible in the summer. He can't even sit out on his patio. It's so stinky. Meantime, city says it's pleased with the agreement, which allows Crimson Holdings to stay in business so people keep their jobs, while hopefully giving the people of Adrian a little bit of relief. As part of the agreement, the city must share all future odor complaints with the company. And if the odor scrubbing technology is not effective, then Crimson will be back in court.
That's what I wanted to ask about. This odor scrubbing technology is interesting sounding.
Yeah, they brought it up, and they were against it in the very beginning because it's expensive. It costs like more than $1 million. But we did reach out to Crimson Holdings. The company didn't comment on that odor scrubbing technology, exactly how it works, but by email, Crimson Holdings said it is committed to mitigating odor from the facility, grateful for the opportunity to work with the city. We posted the full comments on clickondetroit.com so folks can check it out. But I keep saying we're going to stay on top of this, but you have to, because if you don't, these companies come in and then these residents are living in stink.
Do what they want to do.
Yeah, they have.
All right, Karen.
All right, we continue to follow a developing story out of Lansing. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel announcing charges against 16 Michigan residents who are accused of being part of a 2020 false electors scheme.
All of the defendants face several charges, including forgery and election law forgery, and if convicted, they could spend more than a decade behind bars. Dana Nessel said in a statement, this was the only course of action.
I call for a vote by ballot.
Violating the law was the only avenue that remained in the desperate effort of these defendants, who we have charged with deliberately attempting to interfere with and overturn our free and fair election process, and along with it, the will of millions of Michigan voters.
This remains an ongoing investigation, and the AG has not ruled out potential charges against even more people. No court dates have yet been set for any of these defendants.
Turning now to this stunning video. It was just released by the Sterling Heights Police Department and shows an officer leaping into action to save a child drowning at a pool party. And as Paula Tutman shows us, there's so much we can learn to help save lives, but equally as important, we should know what not to do.
It is not necessarily the case that you're going to hear a big splash or a scream if a child is drowning, because this is what it sounds like beneath the waterline. Chrissy Orlando is with Goldfish Swim School in Macomb.
A lot of times drowning can happen really fast, where someone can slip underwater and it'll be silent and you don't even hear them go underwater until they're at the bottom.
The Sterling Heights Police Department video of Officer Nathan Sears saving a toddler who was drowning has important key information. Start with the parents knew proper CPR before they needed it.
Oh, he's breathing.
Yes, we got him breathing.
They called 911 immediately and had a friend on the street waiting for and looking for a first responder to guide them to the right spot.
Where?
Saving valuable seconds.
When things are really, really bad, they want the police there really, really quick. And they're all screaming and trying to get us into that backyard as fast as possible.
But there's more to getting to a life-saved scenario. At Goldfish Swim School, the distinction is made between touch, don't touch. Because a drowning person, even a child in panic mode, possesses superhuman strength.
They're just trying to get themselves out of the water. They're going to grab onto you and possibly pull you under as well.
General rule of thumb, an infant or small toddler under the age of 3. An adult who can competently swim themselves can generally try to pull the child out of the water by being aware of flailing hands that can still tug even a strong swimmer under. But above the age of 3, depending on the size and weight of the drowning person, even a child should not be physically approached without a floating device between you or both could drown.
Start throwing floatable objects out to them and try and get them to safety. If they're actively drowning, throw, don't go.
Very often, one potential drowning turns to 2. If you have to physically touch an actively thrashing child, grab a flotation device for yourself and then approach the child, but not an adult. They can and most likely will pull you under without even realizing it in their panic. Yeah, hear that? Again, that's what it sounds like beneath that water line. And it's not going to necessarily be a loud splash or a scream. It is silent. And understanding that can actually save a life before that life gets near the water. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Really, really helpful information. Paula, thank you. And national statistics show that when young children and infants learn to swim, it helps save lives. But also consider having a designated watcher whose sole responsibility is to watch children near the water.
All right, breaking news right now out of Washtenaw County. The Washtenaw Sheriff's Department confirming a large stretch of westbound M14 near Ford in Superior Township is closed due to a shooting investigation. You see here part of the traffic backup. It's actually backed up for miles. Police say the shooting investigation is being handled by state police. If this is anywhere close to your driving plans for this afternoon, you're going to want to stay away from that. We will continue to keep you advised. Police are meanwhile looking into a fatal shooting that left a woman dead. Police say a number of shots were fired in a parking lot.
This happened this morning at a party store on Merriman in Livonia. A 24-year-old woman from Detroit was killed. Let's get out to Sean Lay. Sean, what do we know now?
We know this was a shootout, a wild shootout between two women, store customers, popular store there in Livonia. Here's what we've been able to piece together.
This is the Nichols Party Shop, a very popular party store on Merriman right off of I-96 in Livonia. Inside today, regular customers tell me they can't believe their favorite shop is now also a murder scene, saying what happened here early this morning is truly senseless. Livonia police tell me that a 27-year-old woman from Redford is dead. A customer here after several shots were fired here in the parking lot. It was a shootout. The suspected person pulling the trigger, firing those deadly shots, another customer, a 24-year-old woman from Detroit. Here's what we know. Just before 1 this morning, those involved were inside the Nichols party shop. They did not know each other and all began arguing. That argument spilling out into the parking lot. The 24-year-old woman who has an active CPL license fired shots, killing the 27-year-old Redford woman. A person with that victim from Redford has an expired CPL license and fired back, hitting the woman from Detroit and someone she was with. They suffered gunshot wounds as a result. Those hit were rushed to a local hospital. All three involved have now been taken into custody. Customers and the clerk here say whatever that argument was about should not have resulted in a total of 3 people being shot and 1 person losing their life.
Back here live, I asked investigators if any of this has to do with self-defense. They said no. They're seeking charges against everyone involved in the shooting here. Also, talked to the store manager. Everything here caught on store security video. Police dealing with that video right now. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4. Back to you.
Okay, Sean, thank you.